Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm just bringing another real life situation. So there was a closed group for practice owners, and one practice owner was asking the question that they anonymously they hired a dental assistant who was hired as a casual, and after like 6 or 7 months, they realized the assistant is not picking up, not just causing some problems and errors and not managing patients well. And also they lost some instruments. And they asked me the question, can we, now this assistant left and we owe her maybe, or owe them, I'm not sure if it's a male or female, owe them 1 week of wages, can we withhold their wages because they lost some instruments? And also, we haven't paid in superannuation for 8 months. What should we do about that? Let's analyze this interesting post, and I'll give you my answers, or the answer I provided as well. First, for credibility, my name is Khaled. I have been a dentist for 20 years. I own my dental practice, Lakeside Dental Spa in Harvey Bay in Queensland. I took it from 1 chair to 10 chairs over the course of 14 years, and you can check my details below for credibility. When I see this type of post, especially anonymously, usually there are 2 things. The practice owner or the business owner has no clue how to manage HR, and that's a big red flag, because they need to know. They're responsible to know the information. They shouldn't be asking this on a forum. They should know before hiring casual staff what's their rights, what's their entitlements, and how they should be paying them, how they should be training them, how they should train them as well. Or number 2, they're aware and just trying to justify their actions, trying to hopefully find some other some other practice owners who agree with their mentality and support. They're just looking for approval from similar people with similar mindset, which is really sad if that's the case. But let's assume the best of human beings and assume it is the first. They have no clue, which is not an excuse. So my answer, my advice, number 1, you should not withhold any wages from any staff members. If they lost instruments, it's your fault, not their fault. Again, it's your fault, not their fault. You should be having a system in place on how to manage instruments so you don't lose them. You should have a system in place to check on instruments before or at the end of the day, if you count your instruments and they're missing, how to find them from the bins, if they are in the bin or wherever they are, you should find them by the end of the day. And if you don't have a system in place, it's your fault as a practice owner. You should have the system in place. You can't say the manager doesn't have a system. You should hire your manager and should set the expectations to set up a system for you. If you have a system in place and this system is not followed, again, it's your fault that there is no accountability. People are not following your systems, or your systems are too difficult to follow and unrealistic. So own responsibility. Own responsibility for the outcome. Set expectation with your managers so they are also own responsibility, they share in the outcome. So it's not the assistant fault they lost instrument. It's not their fault to pay for it. It's their fault that you haven't provided adequate training. If you think you provided, maybe your training needs to change. It's not adequate still. It's adequate in your mind, but it's not efficient. It's not effective. If it's effective, it wouldn't happen. So we need to own responsibility for that, and of course, do not withhold payment because of lost instrument. Even if they break an equipment, you should have insurance in place to manage that, not your staff. Second thing is, I think it was mentioned, the DA was not good with patient or cause problem. Again, you hire them, you train them. If it's not working, you provide feedback, you provide performance reviews. If it's not working, it's not improving, you let them go and move on, find another assistant. Again, it's not their fault. It is what it is. No hard feelings. It didn't work out. Now, if every DA you're hiring and you're training, and after 6 months it's not working with every single assistant, maybe the problem is with your training and the way you provide information in your training. The style of training that you have has to change. But if it's a one-off every now and then, no, it's no hard feelings towards anyone. Don't talk bad about them. It didn't work out. Maybe they would suit a different practice with different style, because you have a good system in place already in hiring and maintaining. So own responsibility for hiring them, for training them, for providing feedback. And if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. Move on, hire another person. The last thing was superannuation. Of course, that's a big problem, big red flag. You should manage this much better. You should do better. You should have a system in place to pay super. If there's an error from an accounting or bookkeeping that was missed, apologize to your team, own the responsibility. They're really sorry we didn't pick up on superannuation for the last quarter or the last 2 quarters. Everything will be paid in the next 48 hours. Expect in your superannuation you will have payments. It happened to me once. It was a software error that we missed a whole payment for a quarter. And again, I emailed everyone, apologized to them, really sorry for that. There is no way we could have picked up on this error, but it's been rectified. You receive payment in the next 48 hours to your superannuation funds. But to not pay super for 6 or 9 months is too excessive. And you don't need to ask a question. You just need to go back to your accountant and say, hey, how can we pay that as soon as possible? Again, some days you win, sometimes you learn. This is a learning experience. Again, if you need to do better with your hiring and managing expectations and training, you need to own responsibility for loss of items. And you need to make sure your accountant and your bookkeeper are on board with your HR obligations when it comes to tax and superannuations and payments. If you find this information helpful, please make sure you like it and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you want to hear more about my videos, please subscribe to my channel and you'll be notified when more videos are released. Thank you so much for listening to me. It means a lot to me.